All right. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the School of Accountancy faculty webinar. My name is Amy, and I'll be hosting this meeting. So first of all, participants have been muted to reduce background noise, but if you are having trouble hearing us, please use the chat function and let me know. I'll be checking that regularly. It does also help to log out and log back in if there's any technical issues. If you do have questions during this presentation, please feel free to type those in the chat box as well, and we will be handling those at the end of the presentation. As I said, my name is Amy O'Reilly. I'm the Assistant Director of Graduate Student Recruitment here at WP Carey, and I work with the Masters of Accountancy, Accountancy Data and Analytics, Taxation, Finance, and Global Logistics programs. I'm joined today by our wonderful faculty, Professor Phil Drake. He works with the Masters of Taxation and Accountancy programs. He's also the faculty director of those programs and is a clinical professor. And he has a professional background, but also has been working at ASU since 2006. So he is also a CFP and CPA and has a great, vast amount of knowledge to provide to students as well as us on the team. Thank you, Phil, for joining me today.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. All right, so quickly, we're going to just have a very simple agenda today. We'll have some set questions for Phil, and he'll give some lovely insights to the programs and details, and then we'll open it at the end for some questions and answers. So let's get started. So first things first, Phil, can you tell me a bit about what is unique about the School of Accountancy programs here at WP Carey?
Well, when we think about the School of Accountancy programs, what we pride ourselves on is being able to prepare our students for the profession. I know that a lot of students are very concerned about the CPA exam because that's the next big hurdle. We're going to get you prepared for that, but we're also, more importantly, going to be preparing you to be ready for being a professional accountant. And so to that, we will structure the program such that it works to develop who you are as you transition from an undergraduate to your professional program through the master's program. And what do I mean by that? A lot of times what you're going to find is that when we come out of undergraduate school, we haven't done a lot of teamwork. Well, you're going to be working in teams for the rest of your life. So we're going to help you transition. We'll have teamwork to do that. When we're coming out of undergraduate, you find that you do a lot of problems that are fairly straightforward out of the back of the book. Well, as you can well imagine, real life is not going to be, like the back of the book problems. So learning to deal with ambiguity and uncertainty and incomplete information is what we will start teaching you in the master's program. So you're developing the skill sets that you're going to need to be successful in being a professional accountant by getting those kind of skill sets that are necessary. So not only are you continuing your technical background and development, but you're also going through and becoming much more geared for being a professional accountant. Then also what makes us unique is how we've structured the programs. And we structure the programs where we work closely with the profession as to what their needs are, and then we make sure that we're adaptive in how we go about creating that curriculum, and it's always evolving as to what we're developing within the curriculum. And so it's going to be a curriculum that's designed for you to be successful in your career. And then lastly, probably what's unique about our program is that we have a very wide mix of faculty experiences. So you're not just getting an academic perspective. You're not just getting a professional perspective. You're not getting, whatever it is. We're getting a very well-rounded perspective. So you're going to have people that have had their entire career in public accounting coming back after they retire into teaching into the program. You're going to have academics that are doing leading research in their areas, bringing that knowledge to bear. So what you're going to receive is a very unique experience where you have a program that's designed to transition you from undergraduate to your professional career, that's going to give you a cutting edge curriculum with faculty that are going to be truly invested in your success. So that's the short answer to what's unique.
Thank you so much. That's extremely detailed. I love it. Now, we have a lot of students that are looking at our options, and they're kind of looking at both the Masters of Accountancy and the Masters of Taxation. Can you tell me a little bit about, we'll touch on the curriculum in a bit, but what is
Hmm.
the major difference between these two programs?
Okay. When you think of a Master's of Accountancy, well, when you think of these two programs, you want to figure out where do you want your career to go. So when you think of a Master's of Accountancy, that tends to be more on the auditing, or you want to be a controller type of side, maybe, going to a CFO. When you go into a Master of Taxation, that tends to be a little bit more of a focused approach. And that's something you want to be careful about when you think of when you're going through what's the approaches there. The emphasis is obviously on taxation. It's going to be on tax. So typically, if you see yourself going and starting your career in a tax-oriented field, the Master of Taxation is a great place to go. If you see yourself starting off in auditing, then the Masters of Accounting is probably better suited. So it's kind of where you think you want to start your career. Both of these programs are going to set you up to be successful downstream. So, 5 years, 10 years, you're going to have a lot of flexibility in what you can do. These degrees do not pigeonhole you. They give you more opportunities because of the experiences you're going to have in both of the programs. So to me, it's kind of where do you want to start your career out of graduate school?
Very good point. Now, I know a lot of students take those taxation courses in that later part of their undergraduate curriculum. So sometimes they may be applying to MACC, for example, but then maybe looking at switching. Do you have any advice for someone who's kind of going between these two options?
Yeah, first of all, understand that when you're talking about your career, we here at ASU want to support you and what you're trying to accomplish. And as Amy just said, a lot of students don't take their tax course until their senior year after they've applied for another program. And you're saying, wait a minute, I think I may really like this tax stuff. I would like to go and get my master's in tax. Can I switch out? Absolutely. It's your career, and we want to support you in what you're trying to do. We do not want to say, well, you applied to this first, so therefore you're stuck. You have to stay here. No, we're here because we recognize that you may change your mind, or you may do an internship over the summertime and say, before the start of the master's program, and go, wow, that was a great experience. I didn't think that was gonna be great. Or no. I was looking at what these folks are doing in this other area, and I'd rather do that. That's fine. Just give us enough time so we can make the adjustments to get you seated and to make sure that there are seats available in the programs for what you're wanting to do. So we are flexible and go out and make that decision between, do I stay with this first program? I thought this is what I want to do, but as you develop and learn more, you may want to switch. We're going to be there to support you. Now, when you're thinking about deciding between a tax versus a Master's of Accounting, Don Goldman said it very well, and he goes, if you like puzzles, then tax could very well be for you, because you're trying to sit there and think about what are the various pieces of that you're trying to put together to make this thing work out. Also, when you think about a Master's of Tax, a lot of people tend to think that's going to be something where it's going to be very narrowly focused. But to be truly a very successful tax accountant, you probably have to understand business better than almost any other specialized masters. Why? Because tax is trying to support what the business is doing. If you're looking at a number of business decisions and they each have separate tax implications, then for you to advise someone as to how best to move a company forward, you need to understand how the company's options in front of them, the business is running, for you to be able to give good tax advice. It's not that you just have a playbook that you come from. You really are in a consultative environment as a tax accountant. And that's true also in accounting, but it's just more so with the tax environment as well. So if you like dealing with puzzles, if you like really being a business consultant, then the Masters of Tax is a great place for you. Now, when you think about Masters of Accounting, that's where you're thinking about what kind of career you want to have. Are you thinking about the career where you would like to go out and be a CFO? Would you like to be a career where you can have your, your own business, or, you want to have that very, very strong financial accounting auditing background? When you talk about data analytics and we're bringing that in, if you're talking about trying to be where you want to be at the forefront of the professional financial accounting and auditing, then the Masters of Accounting really sets you up for success there. So it's a lot of what you think you're good at and what is going to make sense. It's not that these are going to pigeonhole you. Like I said, it's going to open up a lot of avenues for you going forward.
That's a lot of great advice. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Moving forward, we talked a little bit about how tax is more tax focused, and that's reflected in the curriculum, but can you tell us a little bit more about the differences within the curriculum itself in these programs? I have some visuals as well, if you want to.
I was going to say, yeah. So as you go through the visuals, you're going to basically see there's a lot of accounting. And so probably the next slide would be probably the best one. And what you will find is there's commonality across all of these programs illustrated in what's in the blue. So those are the kind of like the core elements that we expect everyone to have. And then we're going to focus in on aspects that are going to really make you, masters at that specific area. So you will see in the Master of Tax, you will see the emphasis on additional tax courses. So there's 5 different courses, actually 6 if you take the tax research in there. 6, tax-related courses that really take you. As an undergrad, you only had 1 accounting course in tax. Now you're going to have 6. So you're really going to expand your base knowledge of tax accounting with this master's program. Now you flip over to the far side over there. On the left-hand side, you have the MACC program. And then when you go through that, you're going to see it has a lot of a look and feel of what you kind of did as an undergrad, but it's going to take you to that next level. For example, you had an auditing course as an undergrad. Okay, we're going to give you an advanced auditing course. You had, intermediate or I can't remember what we call external reporting 1 and 2. Here we have advanced financial accounting. That extends what you did from an undergraduate perspective. You had managerial accounting. Well, we have advanced managerial accounting. You had tax. Well, we have a tax and business strategy. It's more tax. It's now looking at tax from a business perspective. So we're going to take what you did as an undergrad and just bounce that much further. Then we're going to go deeper with understanding internal controls and accounting research, financial statement analysis, the analytics that you need to know for data analytics and forensics. So all of those elements just extend what you're doing. We're going to do the majority of these courses through a case-based teaching. So it's going to be dealing with that ambiguous information through that way. And then in the center, when you look at the data analytics, what our goal is here is to make people who are very good in accounting conversant in data analytics. We're not going to make you the person that's going to be the deep data analytics folks. We have specialized master programs for people that really want to get into data analytics and be the person diving deep. What we're trying to accomplish in our MACC with the data analytics focus is being an accountant who is able to work in a data analytics environment. And by that, you have to understand that accounting data analytics are different than supply chain data analytics. We're different than what marketing data analytics are. So what we've done is we've crafted the program such that we focus on the needs that accountants need to be able to work in a data analytics environment and to be able to communicate what the issues are, be able to talk to your clients and demonstrate and visualize what is the data showing to them so that you can react to it and respond and do the things that are necessary. So when we go through and you look at the data analytics, it's going to really be focused on accounting attributes. So when we talk about statistics for data analytics, innovations in audit technologies, so audit analytics using information systems, all of those things are accounting focused, just as the data mining and data visualization. So we really want you to be a very strong accountant with the ability to work in a data analytics environment. So that's kind of a quick overview of what the curriculum differences are among the programs, but it kind of tells you that each is designed to take you from where you are coming out of undergraduate school and take you to that next level so that you'll be prepared to start your career.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So to carry on from that, you mentioned already that the curriculum and the experiences from undergrad to graduate level is very different. So can you touch a bit on how that experience will look like in the classroom?
Sure. Probably the biggest difference is when we think about what you're doing in your undergraduate experiences, we're laying a very strong foundation technically. We want you to know accounting information, know accounting rules, be able to apply it. And so a lot of times this is not meant as a slight, so take it for what it is. But a lot of times when you're dealing with your undergraduate courses, you read a chapter, you go to the end of the chapter, you see some problems that are similar to the ones that were very in the book, the chapter you just read, and you kind of figure out what the steps are to get you from one to the other. And that's laying that technical foundation. When we get into the master's program, we're going to switch this on you. We'll have some of those kind of experiences that you had as an undergrad, but it's going to be very, very few. The vast majority of what we're going to do is we're going to switch you over to a case-based learning environment. We're going to have you read a case environment with a lot of information, some of it relevant, some of it not. Some of it's going to be enough information, a lot of times not. And so then you're going to have to develop and say, okay, there's not a distinct, correct answer where I look it up in a solution manual. Now it depends. Well, what does it depend on? What assumptions are you making? What are the, accounting resources you're bringing together, your accounting research? What is it that's telling you and leading you this direction? What about the pressures that you face with the client? What are the pressures that you face with the marketplace, with the financial markets? All of those things start coming into the classroom experience, and it's going to be a much more robust experience than what you have as an undergrad. You'll be working in teams. You're going to be working with cases. You'll be doing a lot more presentations, and they're not presentations just in front of the class. We set up presentations where we bring experienced professionals into the classroom and they ask you questions back as you present. So you, in essence, have to present to the client, and then the client asks you questions, just like you would expect in real life. We're doing those exact same things in the master's program as well, because we want you to be comfortable going from undergraduate into your professional career with the skills that are going to be necessary for you to be successful. So that's what we kind of think about the classroom experience is and should be for our students.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And now you touched also on the faculty members and how the diversity of that faculty group is really enhancing the students' learning, but are there any other points to how the faculty contribute to that?
Well, our probably, we work very hard in how we bring our faculty members on board, and we have a very strong group that is very much focused on our student experience, to a person. There's not one that kind of just rips the pages out of the back of the book and says, feed the animals. No, these are people who are coming in and they are truly dedicated to having a positive environment for students to be able to learn this material. They're excited about what they're teaching. They really have spent a significant amount of time developing and preparing what you're going to see. A lot of times what you will find is that the faculty will present their own materials. They will not only present things from, like, say, Harvard Business School's case studies, but they'll also bring their own stuff in as well. And then they're going to bring in their years of experience, whether it's years of experience of teaching or professional practice or academic research. You're going to have that experience brought in. So it's not like somebody who's just, it's my first time teaching this course. No, this is somebody that's been doing this for a long time. They're actively engaged with the profession currently, and they are bringing all those elements together to enhance what you see and feel as a student, so that the experience should be much more robust than what you did as an undergraduate.
That's great. Now, finally, this is a question I often hear from students in that they say, I just did 4 years in undergrad program. I've learned all these skills. Why should I do a master's program? What will I gain differently from a master's program in 9 to 12 months that would change my career path or my trajectory? So can you speak a bit about that?
Sure. So when we think about why do you want to take another year and spend it in school doing your master's degree, and there are a number of good reasons to think about. No, obviously, the one I've been harping on so far to this morning or today is about what you need, the skill sets that you need to be successful in your career. That's one. So, can you deal and work with teams? Can you communicate effectively? Can you deal with incomplete and ambiguous information? All those elements. Can you work and have a answer that's not going to be, yes or no, or the back of the book, but that you can defend by the argument that you build out? That's but one. The other one is, you're thinking about being a CPA. So you'd like to be able to have the exam already passed or at least well on its way. Well, in the master's program, you can start taking the exam and sitting for the exam and have that in process or done by the time you start going to work. That's a huge benefit. You're going to be CPA eligible as well as having done the start of the exam. So think about somebody that comes in from an undergraduate program that goes right into work. And what are they trying to do? They're trying to gain the additional hours to become CPA eligible. They're trying to study for the CPA exam. Plus, they're trying to shine in their job. Well, guess what? That's a lot to ask of somebody when they are just coming out of undergraduate programs. So having that additional year, not only does it train you better for the skill sets that you need professionally, but it's also going to allow you, when you do start your job, to focus solely on your job. So you become the star that you need to be, that you can shine and create your personal brand, not having to worry about going home, taking a class at night, going home, studying for the exam, but that you can then focus solely on your professional career. And that's probably one of the best value propositions, is that you're going to start off in your job putting your best foot forward, because you're going to be very well prepared professionally as well as career-wise for your exam, as well as all the other aspects of what you want to focus on and be able to put it to work immediately when you start from graduating out of the master's program.
That's excellent. That leads right into this next question. So you mentioned a lot about the CPA exam eligibility. I know some students have asked me if there's a prep course or some comparison to that within the curriculum itself. But can you talk about how the curriculum and what students do in the classroom really does apply to not only the credits required for the CPA, but sort of the content of the exam as well?
Sure. It's a little premature, but we are in conversations with some CPA prep companies to make materials available to our master students free. We can't announce it yet because we're still in process, but it kind of goes to the point to what we're trying to say, is that we recognize the importance of you having a CPA exam in the rearview mirror when you graduate or shortly after you graduate. So we would like for you not only to come into the program. Now, don't get me wrong, we're not structuring the program to be past the exam. Our goal is to create and develop you, help you develop you to be a professional accountant that's going to be able to have a career where your master's degree helps you for 5, 10, 15, 20 years after you graduate, that you're going to be basically in that learning mode. But at the same time, you're going to be getting the information that's going to be necessary to help you pass the CPA exam. Now, of course, there are going to be holes and gaps in what we present in our master's program versus what is in the CPA exam. But that being said, we want to encourage our students to simultaneously, as they're studying, to be studying, as they're studying for the master's program and taking their courses, to also at the same time be thinking about what can I do to be prepared for the CPA exam at the same time as well. And our hope is that we would like to prepare people, for the master's program but at the same time, with an eye toward having the CPA exam passed, if not during the program, shortly after graduation.
Excellent. And finally, this is a very common question, especially now. For these 3 programs, or these 2 programs with the 1 track, what kind of career prospects do these have in general? And sort of where are you kind of seeing the trend go in that regard?
Okay, sure. Today, probably more than ever, is the need to have a master's program. When your master's degree, excuse me. When you think about, when you're looked at, you're in a business environment, career environment, and there are 2 candidates for the next position. The one with the master's degree is going to have an automatic edge over the person who is just an undergraduate. All other things held constant. So what that does, that gives you a leg up on what people expect. If you want to go and be at a senior level within an organization, more and more we're expecting people to have their master's degrees as they get into those senior positions. So that's just kind of more the culture of where business is headed. Then when you think about what can you do with these degrees, it's what you're going to get from here, to me, is more like, it's like an opening up of opportunities. It's going to allow you, it doesn't, like, I want to keep on saying, it doesn't pigeonhole you, it expands your career choices that you have. Because you have done your master's program, you have skills that are going to be beyond just the technical development, but the skill sets of what we discussed about communications, working with ambiguous information, working with groups and teams, is going to prepare you for a variety of other type of jobs. So it's going to get you very, very well prepared. The MACC data analytics, that's where the profession is moving to. You come out and you have the MACC data analytics, all of a sudden you are exactly where the accounting profession is moving toward. It gives you say, yes, I already understand these concepts. I understand these tools. I understand these applications. I understand how they're specific to accountants and the issues that accountants face. So it's going to be that kind of program where it will expand your opportunity set as opposed to narrow it. So it only works to your benefit to be able to say, I have my master's of tax. And all of a sudden you're saying, as a business consultant, I probably have a better understanding of businesses because of my tax background, because I have to understand the business to be able to apply the tax law. And as a result, that opens up so many more doors than you would have just with your undergraduate. So when you go through and you think about how we structure the programs, with the materials that in the classes we went over the earlier slide, that is only going to make it even better for you career-wise as to where you want to be, and hopefully having a CPA exam, if not passed, shortly thereafter you graduate passed.
Very good point. And actually from our career management team, I've heard that these programs are typically the #1 request from our corporate partners and for resumes of our current classmates. So it's really exciting to see that much growth and interest in this field as well. Great. Well, that does wrap up our set questions. So I will take a few minutes to just let people enter in any questions they may have for myself or Dr. Drake. Let's see. Nope, looks like we answered all the questions. So with that being said, thank you all very much for attending today. This is my contact details. I am your specialist. You may have spoken to me already about this program or your interest in this area, but if not, my phone and email address are posted there. We are, of course, always having events like these online or hopefully in person soon. And please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much for joining us.